South's Grand Hotel. Southern novelist David Cone once wrote that the Mississippi Delta begins here in the lobby of the Peabody Hotel, and that phrase is as true today as it's ever been. The Peabody's history began back in 1869, just a couple of blocks from here at Main and Monroe. Colonel Robert Brinkley was our founder, and he had set out to build the finest hotel the Mid-South had ever seen and name it the Brinkley House. He succeeded on that first point, but just before the grand opening, his good friend, Mr. George Peabody, passed away. And Mr. Peabody was not just a good friend of the owner, he was also a noted humanitarian and philanthropist. And it was in his honor that the name was changed at the last minute from the Brinkley House to the Peabody Hotel. The Peabody has always stood as a symbol of Southern hospitality and elegance, and it was so at Main and Monroe until 1923. It had been decided that we needed to expand and relocate to here, 149 Union Avenue. And so after 2 years and about $5 million in construction, on September 1st, 1925, the Peabody reopened its doors to the beautiful hotel we stand in today. The Peabody has also served as a social center here in Memphis. We have played host to countless weddings, proms, parties, and celebrations. Many of those have been hosted on our Peabody rooftop, where we have a gorgeous view of downtown Memphis and the Mississippi River, as well as the Royal Duck Palace, the lavish livings of our fine feathered friends. If you'd like to visit the rooftop in the Duck Palace, I welcome you to. Just hop into the elevators after 6 o'clock, hit S for Skyway, and take a right out the double doors. On the way back down, or while we're waiting for the rooftop to reopen at 6, I welcome us to visit our memorabilia room. It's up here on the mezzanine just above the gift shop, and in there we have artifacts and stories unique to our Peabody's history. We have portraits of presidents and stars who have graced our halls. We have played host to every president since Harry Truman here at the hotel. We have a piece of Elvis Presley's first contract, which was typed and signed in this very lobby. And of course we have my favorite artifact, a memo from our general manager to the chef over at Chez Philippe, saying that we can have absolutely no duck served on any menu here at the hotel. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here, of course, to see the march of those Peabody Ducks. But if we haven't done so before, it may surprise us to learn that our whole tradition here got started with a bit of a practical joke. In 1933, our general manager, Mr. Frank Shutt, and his friend Chip were out hunting in Arkansas. They brought with them some live duck decoys to help them hunt. They also brought with them some Jack Daniels to help them keep warm. The gentlemen focused a bit more on the Jack Daniels. Never quite got around to hunting, and so were surprised when they returned to the hotel and found that they had forgotten to leave their 3 English call ducks back at the farm. They improvised, snuck them into the hotel lobby, and let them loose into our fountain instead. Their deed done, the gentlemen retired to their rooms for the night. But when they came down the next morning, they found a few things they didn't expect. First of all, they were relieved to find that the ducks had stayed in the fountain the entire night long. They never hopped out, flapped about the lobby, or waddled off to see the sights of Memphis. But they were surprised to see a crowd gathered around the ducks. And they rushed over. They apologized. They said that they would get this cleaned up right away, but the guests said no. They loved the ducks, and they suggested that we let them stay as our guests. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we have been honoring that request, for we have had ducks as the permanent residents here at the hotel for the past 79 years. Now, in 1940, we had a gentleman join us, a bellman, Mr. Edward Pembroke. Mr. Pembroke was a retired animal trainer for Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. He told us that given the opportunity, he could train 5 North American mallards to march across the rooftop, ride down the elevator, and march down the red carpet into our lobby fountain every morning at 11 o'clock. There they would stay until 5 p.m. when we would usher them out of the fountain, march them back up the red carpet, up the elevators, and back to their rooms. Mr. Pembroke, he went on to Mr. Pembroke went on to march ducks with us here at the hotel, ladies and gentlemen, for 50 years. He also took the ducks all across the country. They were on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. They were featured in People magazine. He and the ducks even made a very special guest appearance on Sesame Street for National Rubber Ducky Day. Mr. Pembroke did so much for the hotel, but especially for our ducks, that he was named the world's first duck master. My name is Anthony. I'm actually only the 5th duck master since 1940, and in just a few moments it'll be my honor to continue our tradition for you. To the King Cotton March, I'll usher the ducks out of the fountain. We'll march down the red carpet, up the elevators, and back to their rooms. I do ask that from here by the red carpet and the entrance to the elevator that we keep those areas clear, and please resist the urge to reach out and pet the ducks. They are wild animals visiting with us after all. But finally, and this is the most important point, please Take as many flash photos as you like. You are all guests with us here tonight at the Peabody, and this march is for you. Thank you for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and again, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and your attention, please. Welcome to the historic Peabody Hotel. At the center of the grand lobby, the point where the Mississippi Delta has been set to begin, stands the classic Peabody fountain, carved from one piece of Italian travertine marble. Although famous in its own right, the fountain is better known the world over because of its residents. If I may direct your attention to the fountain now, you will witness a tradition begun in the 1930s at the South Grand Hotel, an experience uniquely yours as a guest of the Peabody. Preparing to return to their penthouse on the plantation roof for the night, ladies and gentlemen, the march of the world-famous Peabody Ducks. Of the world-famous Peabody Ducks.
All right, duckies. Pose for the people, duckies. Very good. Very nice. Please stay seated. Please stay seated. Thank you very much. And now easy. Very nice.
Okay, honey, you're good. Oops, sorry. Is that amazing? Okay, that was fun. Sarah,